Mic is muted. All right, all right, all right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. I'm extremely excited to be here. I'm streaming in a few different places tonight. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube. And to be honest with you, this is my first time streaming in all of these different places, these different locations at one time. So, I'm extremely excited. We are going to go ahead and hop into it. And tonight's live stream is all about four tools that I use to make six figures from home. All right. So if you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, if you are on LinkedIn, I know that my people on Instagram can hear me, but if you're on one of the other comments, can you leave a comment and let me know that you can hear me? Let me know that you can see me. I just want to make sure that the tech is working properly because I'm literally streaming in about five different locations. This is my first time doing that. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys could hear me fine, that you all could see me extremely well, particularly if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and you can just post a link in the comment. Okay, so thank you so much for letting me know that you can see me and hear me. So we're going to go ahead and hop into it tonight. I'm sharing four tools that I use to make six figures from home, guys. And if you are new to me, welcome, welcome. My name is Jasmine Womack, and my clients call me the six-figure storyteller. I specialize, myself and my team, we specialize in working with leaders who want to establish their authority in their industries, and we help them to do this by packaging their expertise, writing a best-selling book on their industry topic so they can grow their business and generate clients. And then we also show them how to leverage their books by turning them into speaking topics and online coaching programs and curriculums. So I am super excited to be here. I'm the CEO of the Impact Group, and we are an online coaching and consulting company that empowers leaders to change the world by using the power of their story. So, super excited to be here tonight, and we're just really going to hop right into it. I wanted to share four tools that I use to make six figures from home. And I initially cracked the six figure mark in my business back in 2018 while I was still working a full time job. At this point in time, I've been doing this now for several years, and I do this full time. We are a seven figure coaching and consulting company. We have a team of about 13. And so if you encounter us in our Facebook group, Make an Impact, or anywhere else, you probably have spoken to my amazing team members, Kathy, Coach Joel, Dr. Boyce, Coach Mike, Tanya, and then we have a lot of people who work behind the scenes to make everything work well as also. So, but before I started doing all of this, I was working full time as a middle school language arts teacher. I taught middle school, sixth, seventh, and eighth grades over the course of 12 years. And around the 10-year mark, around the 10 or 11-year mark, I wrote my first book, which was called 20 Pearls of Wisdom, A Woman's Guide to Self-Preservation. I self-published it, and I turned that into six figures. And literally about 18 months later, crossed the six-figure mark, and I was able to walk away from my job. Not that I planned it, but when it happened, we were able to, transition right into it. So I just wanted to give a little bit of backstory because when I speak to a lot of authors and when I host different workshops and we poll, authors who attend, many authors, we've experienced or encountered are either in the process of writing books or they've already published books and they have the product, but yet they don't know how to monetize it. And so just based off of the data that my company has generated through the surveys that we have taken, about 80% of the authors that we've interviewed are amazing in their field. They know what they do. They're extremely intelligent, extremely competent. However, they don't know how to sell online, and many of them are making less than $1,000 with their book and in their business. And we are here to help you change that story and create a new one. Absolutely. So oftentimes when I talk to industry leaders, they think that it's hard to either uh, replace or duplicate their salary, but do it in their business. And then another myth is that people tend to believe that you need a lot of fancy tools, or a lot of complicated tools, or in some cases, a huge audience in order to do this. And you don't. You absolutely don't, because when I first crossed the six-figure mark, I didn't have a huge audience and I didn't use fancy tools. And so I'm going to start off by sharing with you the tools that I use, but then I'm going to share with you not just the tools that I used, but how I did it. And I know that that's something that many of you all who are tuning in desire to know. So whether you're tuning in on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, welcome, 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 and let's get into it. So one of the truths is that you absolutely need to start with what you have. And I was speaking to someone on my Facebook post on my personal page. And so she was like, listen, some people just got to start with what they have and what they know. I said, that's true. And most people do start with what they have and with what they know. But what I've come to realize is that so many authors discredit themselves and don't give themselves enough credit. So the first thing that I want you to do tonight is to literally make a list of all the things that you do, all the things that you are good at, that you can teach someone else. Oftentimes, we don't take the time to toot our own horn. We don't take the time to give ourselves credit for what we do and what we do well. We don't give ourselves an opportunity to really identify the things that we have mastered. And like I explained or pointed out to this young lady who had commented on my Facebook post, I said, listen, you make cookies, you market, shipping, product development, all these things, income generation. You're doing this while you're accomplishing other goals and while you have a full husband and a family. Why aren't you teaching other moms how to do this? In conjunction with your book, because it's an extension from your book. And so she was like, man, like I never thought about that. And I'm like, listen, instead of selling a $12 candle, and I do have kids, it's the summertime, so you probably see my kids pop in. But I'm like, instead of selling these low cost things, like these low cost digital products, like it literally takes the same energy to sell that it takes the same energy to sell something for $2,500 as it does for $25. Like, where are you actually going to put your energy? It takes the same energy. It takes the same amount of energy to even think about it and conceive it, write it down, map it out, create it. So why not put your energy where it's going to not only help someone else get a deeper transformation, but also pay off for you more in terms of time, in terms of energy, and in terms of income. So these are just some things to consider, right? So let's talk about the tools that I use. And I'm going to go through the tools very quickly. I use Wi-Fi. I use my phone. I use my laptop. Right? I use Canva to create my own marketing. Those are 4. I can give you guys some extras. I used InShot to create videos with the borders. And I had a payment system. So instead of 4, I actually gave you guys about 6. And I think we make this so much more difficult than what it is. And I literally did what I'm doing now, which was talk about the products and services that I have. I talked and I talked about the things that I wrote about in my book. I helped others have aha moments and get light bulbs for free using easy, everyday, accessible tools. Wi-Fi, my phone, my laptop, Canva. I had Canva Pro. Okay. I paid the extra for that. Like really easy, accessible tools. Had a payment system. I used InShot to make my videos pretty. And I just did it consistently. Talking about my book, talking about my products and services, getting people on a discovery call. So I use my phone for, and I converted them into my offer. Because I was showing up to talk and teach all the time, I often got speaking engagements or speaking engagement requests. Speaking engagements allowed me to go and sell my books in bulk because there would be, I was going from an audience of one to many when I was speaking in person. Speaking in person allowed me to circumvent, a long sales process as well, because when someone saw me speak, they would buy my book. I had forms for them, contact forms, so I could follow up with them. I would follow up with them within 24 hours to see if they were interested in working together. If they said yes, I shared with them the offers that I had and they would enroll. Like, it wasn't difficult. It took work. It did take that. It took some strategy. It took some commitment, consistency, and discipline, but it wasn't hard. I just had to put myself out there. And I find that so many authors are scared of putting themselves out there. And because you're scared of putting yourself out there or doing the extra, you're literally, like suffocating your progress. Suffocating your progress. I want to pause because I'm streaming in my Facebook group, Making Impact, and welcome to all of our new members. If you have not yet signed up for the free Start Your Book, Skyrocket Your Coaching Business workshop, make sure you go to www.startmybooktoday.com to register. It's totally free. We begin in about 2 weeks. Okay, all the details are there. Right? So let's talk. I shared with you what I used to make 6 figures from home using my book when I came out with my first book, right? But now let me share with you how I did it, right? Number one, I narrowed my niche. I narrowed my niche. This means that I got extremely clear on who I was speaking to. Extremely clear. Because even though my book was for the masses, I knew that I did not want to work in an intimate environment with the masses. So I had to get extremely clear on who I was speaking to and the result that I wanted them to get. Okay. I had to get very, very clear. So it got to a point where, and I'm very transparent. So if this is your first time engaging with me, just know that I'm very transparent. I pretty much won't hold anything back. But at that point in time, I was trying to grow my Instagram following, and I was beginning to market professionally on Facebook using my personal profile. And so people will oftentimes ask me, "Hey, I love your content, but what is it that you do?" And I said to myself, if people keep feeling the need to ask me what I do, then that means I'm not making it clear enough for them to understand. And one of the things that I learned about narrowing my niche is that I had to be able to articulate what I did, who I did it for, and the result that I help people get in a very short and succinct manner. Just like I started this live stream out by sharing my name, I said, listen, I help leaders package their expertise and establish themselves as authorities in their industry by writing a best-selling book and turning their book into an online course or coaching business. Boom. I didn't say a whole bunch of I didn't say, well, it's my goal to do this and do that and be long-winded. I had to learn how to be very succinct. And everything that I teach, everything that I post goes back to that. Everything that I teach and everything that I post I'm also sharing my convictions so that you understand who I am as a person and my values and how I demonstrate my values in how I do business. Because when we do business with people, we're not just people are not transactional. We are dealing with humans. We're dealing with people. And I think that especially in the online space, people tend to forget that. You might be speaking to someone that just lost two loved ones in the past 6 months. You might be speaking to someone who is at home, they're going through it with their spouse, their kids are getting on their last nerves, and they are like really trying to accomplish a goal that they have, but they just having a bad day, right? Like the we don't know what people are dealing with. And so we have to allow ourselves to be human. This is why I don't, like they say in the country, because y'all, I'm country. I'm from Georgia. You can probably hear my accent. But like they say in the country, I'm not studying being trying to look perfect or trying to be perfect. Like you will likely see my son run in the background. And if you can't deal with that, then I'm probably not the coach for you because my family comes first. When my husband's home, you might hear him talking in the background, even though my door is closed, because that's just him. You might see my daughter come in here and pop in and ask me a question. This is life. Like we're going live, we're doing business from home, right? And so part of me is understand is not being afraid to show that because in that I'm showing myself as a person, as a human, and I'm also demonstrating my values. Like I'm never going to make my children wait because I'm going live. Like I'm gonna see what they need. Like they're my priority. So this is why it's important to narrow your niche and understand exactly who you're talking to and not back down from that and not be ashamed of it because that's your superpower. And that's one of the elements that will differentiate you from others in your industry. Okay. If this makes sense to you, put a yes, yes in the chat. So you don't have to worry about trying to be perfect. Like when you really, really narrow down your niche, and you understand who you're talking to, you will also understand that your ideal client will embrace you for you. So there's no need to put on airs. Now, of course, we don't need to sit up here and be unprofessional. We do need to have a standard of excellence in how we show up and how we, present ourselves and run our businesses, right? But you have to understand exactly who you're talking to. If you can't very succinctly, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is who I do it for, and this is how I help you, you might need to literally just sit down and flush it out. And if you want to learn how to narrow your niche even more, definitely make sure you join my workshop because I will be going into that in detail. Like I don't have enough time to go into it tonight, but we do go into it in the Start Your Book, Skyrocket Your Coaching Business workshop. Okay. And it's totally free. All right. So I narrowed my niche. Okay. The second thing that I did, so not here. The second thing that I did is that I created a program. I created a course or in my case, it was a coaching program based off of the concepts that I taught in my book. I created a program. For me, creating programs came easy because I used to do it at my job. I have a master's degree in curriculum and instruction. So basically I have a master's degree in instructional design and facilitation of that instruction. So every summer as a teacher, I would volunteer well, not necessarily volunteer, but in order to get some extra hours and get some bonus pay, I would go up to the school for about 2 to 3 weeks, and I would create I would collaborate with some of the other teachers who came, and we would create the entire grade level curriculum for the entire upcoming school year. So when it comes to curriculum development, resources, activities, I literally have been doing this for about 20 years at this point. Well, for about 17 years at this point. I did it for 12, 13 years professionally. And the thing about it is everybody on my team come from education as well. So everybody on my team has a background in doing this type of work. So I created a program based off of my book, and I took that same aspect of curriculum development and applied it to writing books. So this is one of the things that allows my clients to stand above the rest, right? That and the fact that they're able to finish their books quickly if they sit down and like really focus on it and get it done, right? So I narrowed my niche, and then I created a program based off of my book. I already had the book. I was already speaking. And instead of wasting my time or spending my time creating a ton of low-cost digital products, because I got caught in that trap early on. And I realized, I can stay in creation mode all the time. Like creating was fun for me. So I would go into Canva, I would create this and create that and create the slides for this and create different workbooks and ebooks and try to sell them. But instead of me focusing, I learned that instead of me focusing on trying to sell some $25 class, I could instead, at the time, create a program for $1,000 and sell it. And I would not only help someone get real maximum results, but I was able to skyrocket my income in that way too. And here's the thing about it. This is just like I told the young lady who commented on my Facebook post this morning. I was able to you can take your coaching program. If you facilitate it live, then that's a live component. If you take the recording and sell the recordings, then it becomes a self-study course. If somebody wants to work one-on-one with you instead of a group, then it becomes one-on-one consulting that you can charge for a higher price for the same content. You're literally creating or delivering the same content in a variety of formats, and all of it is based off of your book. Where people tend to go wrong is that they're literally trying to do all of the things, and they're trying to do too much of too many things for an extremely low cost. And you're not getting results because you're literally all over the place. This is why I don't like people who say that they are serial entrepreneur and they're trying to do all the things. Like, why are you trying to do all the things if you haven't grown at least one leg of your business to consistent 10K months? Why are you trying to add something else into the pot? Like, it might make you look like you're doing something, but in reality, you're not doing anything. Not anything that gets results. So I'm like, focus on the main thing and keep the main thing the main thing. So I created a program based off of my book. From that program came a course. From that program came in-person workshops. From that program came speaking topics and speaking engagements. I would literally, and all of it stemmed from my book. And so I literally was able to flip my book and create at least 5 different streams of income from that one book. And that's what allowed me to pass and cross over the 6-figure mark about 18 months after I wrote my book. And this was literally me starting from ground zero. I was a school teacher. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything really about selling online. I didn't know anything about email marketing. I just had the drive. I had the determination to learn and to figure things out and to keep doing things, even if it, didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to the first time. And I just kept at it. All right. So that's how I did it. I narrowed my niche and I created a program based off of my book, and I charged premium price for it. And I began to charge premium prices. So I stopped focusing on the super low cost digital products and began focusing on those things that were going to get my clients results and that also were going to pay me premium. That's how I did it, guys. So those four, I actually gave y'all more than 4 tools. Gave y'all about 6 or 7 tools that I use to make 6 figures from home. And I shared with you 2 key strategies that I implemented to actually do it. So I hope that this was helpful for you all. I hope to see you in my workshop. Okay. Go to www.startmybooktoday.com. Let me pull the calendar up. We begin on June 20th. So the sessions are going to be live noon every single day during your lunch. They'll last about an hour so that you can tune in. The replays will be available for a limited time, and it's totally free. So if you're interested in learning how to start your book and skyrocket your coaching business, definitely make sure you go ahead and register at www.startmybooktoday.com. You'll get an invite to join us over in our Facebook group, because a lot of these live streams, I am going to take them down off of some of the public platforms, but they'll be in the Facebook group. So make sure you come and join us over in there after you register. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close it out because we've been on about 30 minutes. So if you have any questions, shoot me a message or leave a comment below. I'll make sure that I come back and answer it. And you guys have a good evening. See you soon.